Why do we even need CoFormation when community management, crowdsourcing, co-creation, and consulting already exist? Each of these approaches solves part of the problem. CoFormation takes responsibility for the whole of it. Let's deal with community management first. Community management is typically seen as a marketing or communications function, welcoming members, moderating discussion, creating content, and keeping engagement alive. These activities are important, but most community management, as it's commonly understood, doesn't take ownership of the full system of shared work. It rarely establishes what's true or distributes real authority. It almost never brings outside capability into production, or preserves knowledge, or creates the conditions for credible advocacy to emerge. CoFormation does include community management functions, but positions them inside a much larger system that's designed to create, protect, and multiply organizational value. Put simply, community management is usually a cost center. CoFormation, though, is a capability and revenue generator that compounds over time. Crowdsourcing is also a potential red herring. Crowdsourcing opens a specific task to a large group. It's useful and forms one tool inside CoFormation, especially when the problem is well understood. But on its own, it is limited. It doesn't validate whether the organization has correctly defined the problem or identified the right people. It doesn't ensure the organization can act on the input or preserve the resulting capability either. And these are critical differences. Co-creation is next. You may or may not have heard of this discipline, but it brings outside people into the development of an organization's product, service, or solution. It's actually one of CoFormation's 5 modes and one of its most powerful expressions. But when co-creation is treated as the complete solution, it repeatedly produces strong short-term results that later fade or get lost. It typically lacks the surrounding systems required for intelligence, problem definition, governance, stewardship, and sustained advocacy. And last, we come to consulting. Consulting brings concentrated external expertise into the organization. CoFormation can draw on consultants, but it goes much, much further. It builds ongoing, governed relationships with a much wider group of people whose knowledge and judgment continue influencing the work long after the engagement ends. Here is the simple distinction. Community management runs the group, crowdsourcing opens the task, co-creation develops the solution, consulting supplies expert input. But CoFormation does something different. It establishes the purpose and authority that governs all of the above, brings the right people into the right roles, and preserves capability so that every cycle makes the organization stronger, smarter, and harder to beat.